What's up, Chum Gang? I am here home, Florida, for a couple more hours. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're training chest and shoulder. It's Sunday, right before heading out to Arizona. Officially 11 weeks out from the Olympia 2026. And yeah, one more time to go to Arizona and finish the prep over there. So, little shoulder workout. Pretty much everything that I've been doing since Miami, my last show, has been the same, nutrition-wise, cardio-wise, and training-wise. So the split goes as such: Monday, glutes; Tuesday, back; Wednesday, glutes; Thursday, shoulders and biceps. And then I do glutes again, rest on Saturday. I get body work on Saturdays, and then shoulders and chest on Sunday. So 35-minute workout here, quick as you guys know it, and we'll hope you like this video and follow along. Warm up, 15 pounds on each side. Incline chest press. Very good, very good, very good. I've been obsessed with these.
What are those?
So good. The EVP AQ shots. So normally it comes into those big bottles. It's glycerol. Glycerol was like it's a very OG, like old school bodybuilder used to do that. It brings all the water in your muscle and gives you the most insane pump. You have to drink that. There's 10 grams of glycerol in there. The S7, which is like focus agent. And then with water, and I do the EVP3, the EVP Extreme 2 right now, and it gives you the most insane pump. Like I said, I only have one meal down right now. Normally I have 2 meals, so I do feel a little bit like deflated, even though I'm eating 2,000 calories. But I love these. I've been using these for my workouts. Right, so for incline chest press, we're gonna do 3 total set. Already did my first one as a warm up, and then I'm going to go to the 20 pounds and then probably 25 pounds. For 15 reps.
Why is this your favorite exercise for capped shoulders?
Oh, side lateral raises, for sure.
What you're doing right now?
Yes. And I think with dumbbells probably is the best. I would argue, if you have to find something that doesn't engage your traps. So dumbbell might do that at first for you. If you do some type of incline side lateral raises, or even like with the bench in front of you, depending on how your muscle insertion is, I would do that. Or a machine is really good, but cable resistance, if your traps are really engaging, is probably the best. But doing dumbbell here really loads the cap, like the top of the shoulder. Like right here is the heaviest, right? 1 pump in. There's a point in prep, like we don't even check out the weight really anymore. It just like indicates us whether the food is filling me out or not. But I think in Pittsburgh, I was probably 133. Miami probably 132. And then Arnold, I was like 130, 131. But Arnold, that was too hard. Pittsburgh was, to me, perfection. And then Miami, we were a little bit leaner. I did like that package a lot. I think the lighting didn't help so much. The conditioning aspect was a little bit, again, too lean and not filled enough, in my opinion. But different temperature, different weather, etc. But I think for now, having us keeping the food really, really high for a very long time and just training the way that I train here now, is gonna give us a good indication on like whether or not I've put some muscle on my frame. I do feel like I did, maybe like 0.2 ounces, but it does make a difference when you are competing against the best of the best, All right, so here we're gonna do, I think I'm gonna do only 3 sets of the dumbbell side lateral raises because I'm gonna finish up with machine today. And one tip that I have to let you guys know that I feel like it helps me whenever I do the dumbbell side lateral raises without engaging my traps, I make sure I'm braced from the ground up. And then when I first start my repetition, imagine you're having a rubber band around your wrist and you're trying to separate the rubber band first and then continue with that motion. I feel like when you start engaging your traps, it's normally at the bottom because people are bringing them all the way forward. And then when you start opening up, that's when everything happens. So you stay grounded and then you separate the rubber band and then you pull up. That's also gonna probably have you downsize on the weight and the load that you're using. So between 8, 5, 10 pounds is probably what I like to do. And if you want to do like a burnout set, you can start with 15s and then go to 10, go to 5, and then go to 2.5 if you want to just do like a full burnout. I like doing that. I did that on Thursday. So trying to do a little bit of different things and keep your rest period very short too.
The last shoulder workout I filmed with you was with Dr. Mike. Is there anything that you learned from that workout or from Dr. Mike specifically that has helped you with shoulder workouts, or anything that surprised you that you didn't know?
I mean, I knew a lot about Mike and Jared as far as full ranges of motion, so I wasn't surprised what they put me through. Although, I've got to say, getting a pump like this in 20 minutes, I think. I always heard that, shoulders is a small muscle and you can compound a lot into a short, workout, but it was pretty impressive. And I've enjoyed every single exercises. I think there's a lot of takeaways as far as ranges of motion and tension of the muscle. But yeah, I agree. Like there's some movement that I don't really fully always go to the top because we're avoiding, traps and stuff like that. So, there's things that can apply to obviously everyday life people, and then when it comes to very specific bikini, it is kind of different. But all the exercises that we've done, I've redone that training about 3 to 4 times now, and it still hits every single time. So yeah, pretty cool workout. Go check it out. Third exercise here, we're going back into a press. I've inclined the bench one little notch higher than the incline press. We're gonna do Arnold presses, probably my favorite exercise. You can just like really grab, the front delt at the bottom and the chest. And then once you're pressing out of it, it's just again, like the full like front delt and then a bit of chest. So a great compound movement in my opinion. So we're gonna do 3 sets here, starting with 15 pounds and probably gonna go into 20 and do 2 sets at 20 pounds.
What's your dream vacation location?
Ooh, dream location. I would say right now is back home. I just want to go back to Canada, to be honest, for a little bit. And then second would probably be definitely Greece, and then like Greece, Portugal, Spain, and then I would go to Japan, and then I would go to Brazil. A lot of places. Places I want to go back to, places I want to visit. Yeah. Oh my God, I think number 9, like the whole mindset, it really is like in September, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. Like I just know for a fact I'm going to have the best body I ever had in my entire life. And so first of all, displaying that and be happy on stage and just like really just showcasing that. But also I know how it's going to feel emotionally speaking in my personal life as well, giving me that reassurance that I have built something very strong for that now 11 years and a 9th Olympia, and just as an athlete, but even more so as a human being. So I have an incredible audience that has been following me through the ups and downs, and I feel like right now I'm really pouring into myself, and I have a coach that really believes in my potential and is not fearful that we can just go into that. So I feel kind of young again into like how I tackle the sport initially. Like when you start the sport, you just want to like grow and be at the gym and having fun with it. And that's really what I'm touching on, but in an older age, it's just like setting myself up for success. So I know in September is going to be a big milestone for me, but also like potentially a big turning point to whatever is next for me. So yeah, I'm excited for that for sure.
30, too old to become a pro.
30, 40, 50, it really is not. And on top of that, what I'm gonna say is that I've seen more successful careers starting later, because I feel that by now you have so much life experience that if you enter the sport is because you have kind of a bigger purpose and like your own purpose for yourself as well. Like it's less on the outside and it's less in vain, I would say. So I've seen I've admired a lot of like the more master competitors, because once you have, you know, either it's kids or a full-on career and you have things to juggle with, it becomes, for I believe, like easier to lock in on what is important to just do, right? It's important to train, to get your food in and get your cardio in. The rest is not really hard. You know, the posing is gonna be strenuous, and then normally have a sense of budget, so you don't have necessarily like bad experiences. And then the worst case scenario is that you have a bad coach, but as you know, an older, wiser person, I think you have more discernment to choose a better coach. So yeah, no, I would argue that it probably is the best way to start, probably at 30, you know. So your fourth exercise is going to go into the rear delt fly machine. I have 50 pounds right now. I'm most likely going to stay there. As far as like the rear delt goes, because it's in the back, there's a lot of things that we cannot see. So CHAP engagement, you can't always pick it up, especially because it normally happens at the end of the set where you're very tired. So one tip would be the bench adjustment. You want to drive your hips back a little bit, having your chest against the pad. Once you have your handles on, make sure that your wrists and elbows and shoulder are kind of all aligned, since you're really trying to hit the rear delts. You want to make sure that your elbow is not dropping or is elevated up. Depending on how you might have your muscle attachment there and your joints, it might be better to play with it. And you could see if you're hitting it better if you have, let's say, your palms up, whether some people have better connection with the palms down. But with that being said, for the CHAP engagement on the rear delts, to avoid that, you're going to push towards the front. Bring your shoulders in front just a tiny little bit, and you're gonna push with the outside of your wrist as much as you can, and your range of motion should stop about right here. You don't want to continue. The continuation is just CHAP engagement full on. So you want to stop at the range where your muscle is still active. Right here, we're doing the reverse of this machine. So earlier I was talking about how the dumbbell is heavier at the top of the motion, which is going to help grow this part of the shoulders. This one, doing it reverse, one, help with the keeping the traps down, but bringing your arms into the back, you have all of that active range of motion more at the bottom, that it's heavier. And then the machine by itself, the way that it has been biomechanically produced or engineered, is going to come off at the top, so the weight is not going to be as heavy at the top, so you can really focus on that bottom range of motion, which is going to grow that part of the shoulders. That tie-in right there. Then we do 3 sets here, really short rest period with 30 pounds on each side, 15 reps. Whew. It'll shoulder range of motion, shorter range of motion at the bottom. Finish off. So we're done here with the sides portion of it, and we're almost done with the workout. So let's go to our last exercise.
What are your biggest tips in navigating post-show changes, both the mental and the physical?
Oof. So navigating the post-show blues, mentally and physically. So I'm gonna start with the physically, because physically I feel like it's the easiest one. So physically, once you're done with your show, you have to sit down. Probably like the day after you have like your good brunch, sit down with a notebook and a paper and set your goals. What are your new goals that you're now entering a new season of your life, which is off season, and how to fully embrace it, doing the right thing. And again, if you're working with a coach, is gonna tell you one thing. If you wanna go back to what I've done my entire career is just go back to intuitive as soon as possible. So let my hormones like the ghrelin, leptin, your hunger hormones go back to normal. And you know, I've gotten some pretty like bad backlash my career because I would gain, you know, more weight like faster because my preps were a little bit on their harder side, and it's not like that anymore, but they were really, really hard. And then going back into off season, I was very hungry. So I would gain about like 20 pounds off stage weight pretty soon, but I would get my period back if I had lost them. And eventually I would just go back to, hey, I'm ready to diet again. And that way you can really be complete in your off season as far as, okay, whatever my physique appearance now is, I'm gonna let my body, and I don't have any aesthetic goal that are coming to me now. So this should be your goal. Like, you should free your mind from any aesthetic goal, because you should just look good for yourself, and what should look good for yourself is a body that feels good from the inside, okay? Then on the mental aspect of it, kind of go hands in hand with what I just said, is kind of freeing your mind and setting your goals differently. So be very honest to yourself, be extremely transparent with yourself, but also don't be hard on yourself. I think that I've seen shorter and shorter lifespan of athletes now because they don't take that time off, like really genuinely. So then when the switch needs to be back on, they haven't had it super off during the off season. So there's kind of like entering a new season with resentment, whether it's I haven't spent enough time with my family, I was doing like half-ass of just eating out, but not fully eating out, with just having, you know, troubled mindset of just, I'm supposed to hold a certain look during my off season, which honestly, if someone is not paying you to do that, don't do it. And I feel like I've now competed for 11 years, every single years. And I think I'm probably one of the only one that are still doing this. You know, most of them have had a full year or two of just not competing. And I do strongly believe that I've been able to stay super healthy, take a lot less chemicals as the other athletes would probably take, and doing the same sport, just because I try to go as my reset every single time. So when I start prep, it's like my first prep almost every single time. And you know, post shows are hard. Like, it is some type of blues every single time. Like, the first week is really hard. So you have, like I said, just free yourself completely from any aesthetic goals. Like, whomever makes you believe that you have one, it's kind of silly, you know. Last and final exercise of this workout here, we're doing assisted chest press, which is a good exercise for chest as a finisher, but we're also engaging our triceps. So same idea again, we're gonna put all of our weight into the midfoot on the platform if you're doing them assisted. And then you wanna keep your neck out of your traps as much as you can, so bring your traps down. And then making sure that you're pushing out of the palm of your hand like you're doing basically like a chest press or a push-up, so about right here, and that's gonna really engage your whole traps and also all your chest at the bottom. You wanna engage all your chest at the bottom and then push out of there using these muscles. And then the lockout at the top is gonna be for the tricep. So bikini girls training arms, training chest. I mean, it's particular to everybody, but being a taller competitor as well, we just have more room to fill, and it just looks better. So I'm never gonna grow a crazy chest, but I'm going to have muscle insertion that are a lot cleaner and a lot denser. And from a judge's perspective, they're not gonna see something that is missing, right? So I used to be very shallow up top here, and then we just fill it out. So in that way, it just looks a lot better. But no judges are like, oh, you grow your chest. No, but I don't hear it, hey, you should, you know, you're shallow up here, you should be more filled, or having the look of being a little bit more stringier up top. So just doing 3 sets here, 3 working set, and it's gonna be a wrap for today. Oh my God. Good workout, fam. I'm ready to eat. I hope you guys enjoyed this workout. If you did, please comment down below. But I'll see you guys back in Arizona. CHAP out.